Okay, so the TLDR version of this video is basically that I have a second channel now, exclusively for my travel content, which never really performed that well here. But to fully explain why I've made this channel, and why I bother making travel videos in the first place, I first need to take you back to the mid-1990s. As a kid, I was lucky enough to go on holiday abroad most years.
And here it says Mr. Big Ted. We can take a couple of close-ups.
My dad would film the trips on his trusty camcorder.
And we've gone here.
With me increasingly calling the shots as I got older.
Fade. That's the button for fade. Okay. Bye.
Our 2004 trip to Cyprus was the first time he handed me the camera.
Oh, I get interviewed now, don't I?
Yeah.
Learning how to use a camera sparked my creativity and made me want to make more.
Here we are, up a mountain.
And the rest is history. But even though at that stage I was more interested in making Lego movies, I still kept up the tradition of filming our holiday videos. I saved up and bought my first camera, and documenting these trips became a way for me to experiment and try new techniques. Looking back at these videos now, I can see my skills gradually get better with each one, as my confidence grew, particularly once I got to university. Even so, all of these early trips were shot on tape, and since they were made exclusively for my family, I was quite content to simply plug the camera into a TV and play back the tapes as I'd shot them.
It's supposed to be good luck to drink from the water, as those two people are not doing, but trying to.
But in 2013, I bought my first DSLR, and everything changed. Although I could now film in glorious high definition, the camera saved each shot as a separate clip, basically requiring that I edit them together in order to have something presentable for my family to watch.
But it is more lush in this part of the country, you said.
Yeah, it's more green round here. Seen lots of possibly olive trees and maybe a lime tree.
And it wasn't long before I began adding music, lower thirds, and map sequences to these videos for my family. An audience of maybe 10 people?
Which may or may not have been a good thing. Bloody hecklers.
As the quality of my holiday videos increased, so too did the time it took to create them. Pretty early on, I decided I needed to make more of these videos to justify the time I was putting into them. So I created a second YouTube channel, Tanner Travels, in 2015, and began uploading the best chapters from my latest holiday videos.
Toboggans were first introduced to Madeira in the 1850s and acted as one of the first forms of public transport on the island.
But I was starting from scratch, which meant I had no audience, no ability to monetize, and not really enough content to keep subscribers coming back. Aside from one video where I visited a filming location for Monty Python's Life of Brian, none of the videos gained much traction, so I quickly lost interest. Despite this, I continued to use my travel videos as an excuse to test new lenses and improve my motion graphics skills, even going so far as to reconstruct a historic bombing raid for one of them. Again, it's worth remembering I was doing all this for an audience barely in double figures. Then in 2020, with COVID limiting everyone's travel opportunities, I revived and rebranded Tanner Travels as a short-lived Facebook page, my thinking being that my travel videos would appeal mostly to older audiences who can generally be found on Facebook. I also thought I might get away with posting videos with copyrighted music on more easily than I could on YouTube, but this turned out not to be the case. Unsurprisingly, my enthusiasm petered out before Tanner Travels Mark II really had a chance to get going. I realised that rather than retrofitting my existing videos, I needed to make them with a public audience in mind from the outset. So, for my 2021 trip to Croatia, I went out of my way to source royalty-free music or ask musicians permission before using their tracks. The result was a 2-part video that sadly underperformed on my main YouTube channel. Hardly surprising, given it's not about Game Guru or FPS creator or even filmmaking, the main topics which I post about here. Even so, I went on to post my 2022 trip to Morocco and my 2023 trip to Greece, both of which underperformed compared to my normal videos, but which I framed as passion projects.
You should make a photo series of Gabby makes a fool of herself around various monuments.
It would be a very long album.
The irony is, my travel videos do have a small but loyal following. This was proved when, earlier this year, I put out a poll on whether I should post my upcoming trip to Iceland here on Tanner Productions or somewhere else. Even though the consensus was I should post it on my main channel, advice I'm ignoring by the way, my main takeaway was that there are actually people out there that wanted to see this travel content. And so to the title of this video. It's not so much a brand new second channel as it is a rebranded and reimagined one. Oh, and this time I'm actually telling people about it. Tanner Travels is my way of separating my travel content from my more popular gaming and filmmaking content I post here. And to launch Tanner Travels, or relaunch it, I'm starting with my most recent trip to Iceland, one of the most striking and beautiful countries I've ever visited. It would mean a lot to me if you could check it out, leave a like, or even subscribe, so you don't miss my next adventure.
We decided to try and go volcano hunting, and so we drove on a windy coastal road over there somewhere towards Grindavik, which is the nearest town to the volcano that's currently erupting, and we got told off for going down that way. We've come to this spot now, which is the meeting point of the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates.
And if you're not interested in my travel videos, you don't have to worry anymore. I won't be posting them here. But thank you for continuing to stick around. Your support really does mean everything to me. So, with all that said, I hope you'll check out my second channel, Tanner Travels. Thanks for watching.